Welcome to the Horrible Film School, an imaginary place where three jackasses stalk and slash horror movies like madmen on Halloween. I'm Chris, joined today by the only Ryan I ever mistake for Ryan Reynolds, the ripped Ryan Hootie.
Tell you what, Chris, this movie did make me want to work out, run out in the rain in my pajamas, and just pretty much, I want to take my shirt off right now.
I can smell your six-pack from here. So
No, I'm just happy to be here.
And I'm also joined by the Reverend Jeremiah Ketchum.
Who the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, it's me, Jeremiah Ketchum. Don't go in there. There's so many demons. My name is Joey. I don't know why. I'm being referred to as Ash Ketchum. However, I would like to start out by apologizing to our listeners of the first episode. There was an issue with my audio. Apparently, there's a lot of clicking and clacking and popping and pipping going on. I especially want to apologize to superfan Raul, also known as Burning Bridges, a.k.a. the Dick Thrower, a.k.a. No Recoil.
Damn.
He was very, very disappointed in how it turned out.
AKAs.
I just wanted to, shout out to the listeners. Shout out especially to our friend. And
shout out to Dick Thrower.
I promise not to record next to an open microwave again.
We love you, Ralph.
Love you, dude.
Also known as Joey, Joseph Bear Shark, my asshole brother. Welcome to the podcast, boys.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
Happy to be in the most haunted house of all time.
So I hear.
Whoa.
Today's lesson, raising stepchildren. Keep your eyes out for the big 6 horror tropes that we're going to be tracking ourselves. I'll go ahead and list those here. Excessive gore, female nudity, jump scares, the killer not dead, splitting up, and technical difficulties. Join us as we play Judge, Jury, and Executioner to 2005's The Amityville Horror. Heavy spoilers ahead, so grab your red rum bingo card, and let's get into The Amityville Horror.
Just a little breakdown of what this movie has in store for us as we go over this. When George Lutz and his wife, Kathy, find a beautiful new house in the small town of Amityville, New York, they think the place is too good to be true. After they move in with their kids, they find out the cheap price tag is thanks to the house's sordid history. The foreign tenant murdered his entire family and was possessed by the devil. The Lutz family is visited by ghosts and manifestations as they unravel the dark secret that lies below over 28 days.
Why 28 days, man?
28 days later.
28 days
All I could
later,
think about was like a menstrual
later,
cycle
28
the whole
days,
time.
Bleeding for 28 days straight. There's so much going on within that month.
Yeah,
February, 28 days.
Wasn't it a Sandra Bullock
That
movie
was a
about
Sandra
rehab
Bullock.
or something?
It was literally called 28 days.
I never made that correlation. Are we saying Sandra Bullock's the ones who, caused this family to kill, themselves?
Maybe they had just purchased the DVD back in the 70s.
This is a remake of a 1979 film based on the book by Jay Anson. The director is Andrew Douglas, who has done a whole lot of jack shit.
Yeah, his IMDb page is very reminiscent of a graveyard. It's fucking terrible. However, he did direct a couple episodes of Mindhunter towards the end of season 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's impressive.
It's some of my favorite Netflix original stuff. So,
Oh, yeah.
give that a watch.
He did a lot of documentaries, and then, to Joey's point, Mindhunter.
Yep.
George Lutz is portrayed by Ryan Reynolds, who
The man hunk.
The audience may know from Deadpool, Van Wilder, and a personal favorite of your host, Blade Trinity.
So is this the most jacked he ever was?
This is the Blade Trinity body that he had.
I literally
seen Blade Trinity.
I
Is
watched.
this like post or pre?
I am not.
Is he more or less jacked in this than Blade Trinity?
He's less jacked. Yeah, it's the same beard and hair.
Gotcha.
I got the hankering to watch Blade the other day. I don't know why, but I did.
They're rebooting it, right?
Well, yeah, there's a reboot. But I think the fact that Ryan Reynolds is supposedly in Trinity, and I've never seen Trinity, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a watch. Got all the way through 1. Actually, a decent movie. I actually like it
Deacon
now, like more
Frost.
now. Deacon Frost. I like it more now than I did, when I was younger. And then I got maybe 30 minutes to the second movie, and I couldn't do it. So
The second one's so good. It's directed by Guillermo.
the second one is
Was Norman
terrible.
Reedus in the second one?
Goodness, man. Norman Reedus.
Yes.
He's like
Yeah,
the
that's
little
right.
the punk techie guy.
And
Chris
Ron Perlman.
Stuyvesant. Chris Stuyvesant make it to the second one?
You may see
Yeah, he was in
third
the
one.
second one. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What do you
Wasn't it
have,
Ryan
second?
Reynolds also in Employee of the Month and Good Luck Chuck?
That is Dane Cook. What
Oh,
is
shit.
wrong with you? How does Dane Cook like anything you like?
I thought they were
Ryan
the same. I
Reynolds?
thought they were
Now that
the
I
same
think
guy,
about it.
bro.
Now that I
They
think about it,
look
kinda had the
just
same
alike.
style.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Dane Cook
I
wished
think
he
those
looks like
three-
Ryan Reynolds, that fat fuck.
I think Dane Cook, Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Gosling can get together, bro, and they can create
Whoa.
like
Hold on now.
what?
I like Gosling. That's my guy.
Hey, Gosling's good.
He's more
with it. All
talented
these
than the
guys
others.
are very
Like a
similar.
bull in
to
a damn
each
china
other.
shop right now.
So,
Gosling is more talented
All
than
right,
the
so
other
I
two.
just learned that Dane Cook isn't Ryan Reynolds. That's good to know.
Moving further into the cast, Kathy Lutz is played by Melissa George.
Who's that lady?
She looked familiar. Was she in Drive or something like that?
30
She
Days
was
of
in
Night.
30 Days
I
of
think
Night. And, for the female listeners, Grey's Anatomy.
She is
good for her.
super, super attractive. However,
What was that damn Stallone movie? The race car movie.
Driven.
Driven. That's what
She
I was
wasn't
thinking.
in
She wasn't
that.
in that.
I recently watched Driven, and it is god-awful.
really? I like that movie.
Shock.
All right, the woman is like, she's super hot, right?
Very
I
attractive.
feel like they had to negotiate a separate contract for her eyebrows. Because it's like, her eyebrows are a character in themselves. They are so damn thick.
She's a very emotional character.
She's very emotional.
A lot of her emotions comes through her eyebrows.
That's like one of our most impressive emotional characteristics of any human face, right?
I don't know.
Chelsea Lutz, the daughter of the Lutzes, is played by Chloe Grace Moretz.
Moretz.
Yeah. Best
Who-
actress in the movie. I'm just
She's
kidding.
fantastic.
This was
She
not her
great.
finest performance. This was, however, her first film.
Yeah, I was going to say. For all things considered, I think she was fine.
And
For
she's
like a
also
6-year-old, she was fun.
been in Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was also in Big Mama's House too. And she plays Abby.
Glad I skipped that in my notes for Big Mama's House, too.
She plays Abby in Let Me In, which is an
yeah.
American version
The
of
American
the
remake.
Swedish film Let the Right One In, based on a novel by the same name. Fantastic vampire movie. I hope we eventually get a chance to
Yeah.
cover it.
Both were genuinely good.
She
The
is
original was better.
like, in my opinion, watching some of her movies, that's her best role. is
500
in
Days
Let
of
Me
Summer,
In.
man. She was a cool younger sister.
Yeah,
I
she
love
was
that
in that.
movie, though.
The oldest son, Billy Lutz, played by Jesse James.
Jesse J. I looked this up, dude. Apparently, there's a porn star by the same name.
Oh.
So don't type in Jesse James into Google because you'll get either the porn star or the old cowboy.
I thought, yeah, that was the, isn't he like the Harley guy or something? West Coast Choppers? Who's that?
I think it's the
Oh,
same
it's just
guy.
he was married to Sandra
That's
Bullock.
A,
This is a
that's
big Sandra Bullock episode, apparently.
Wait,
Tied
weren't
around.
Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds, I think, at one point?
That was a proposal. That was a movie. But they might have been they might have
Damn
carried
it.
over into the real life. I don't know.
All right.
But Jesse James has been in Blow, Pearl Harbor, and The Butterfly Effect.
We're talking about that child?
all
blind
all
child?
these as a child. He's like he hasn't done anything notable since
What was he
he
doing
like
in
hit
Blow?
puberty.
I don't know. I think he played the younger version of the Johnny Depp character.
He played Bush number 3. He was literally like dressed as a bush out there, just sitting next to a building.
Out there in a ghillie
Nah,
suit.
Billy brought some heat to this role. Come on.
Oh,
I got 2 more characters to go through here. Michael Lutz, the youngest son, played by Jimmy Bennett. You may know him from Anchorman and Star Trek. He played young Captain Kirk in the first Star
young
Trek.
James T. Kirk.
Oh. That is,
Did I do anything wrong, officer?
he definitely looks cooler than he did as a small child.
Yes, he looked like a
That was
stooge.
Pretty goofy looking. That's a stooge. You're talking about like a 10
Like a Three Stooges?
Stooge. And the last, but definitely not least, from Mr. Joy,
My God.
Lisa / the babysitter, played by Rachel Nichols, who we know from
From
P2.
SportsCenter?
At last. I'm telling you, bro. She whips them things out, boy. Ooh, them balls drop on Billy real quick.
We're going to talk about it, but that's one of the
Real
oddest
quick.
scenes of this entire movie. But she
You
was
know-
in P2, a horror
no.
classic.
You know what else she was in? She was in Star Trek 2009
Good
with
God. The whole
Jimmy
cast
Bennett.
of the movie was in it.
She played Gala, one of James T. Kirk's many flings in that movie.
Was she like
she was
green,
the
or was she
green
human?
alien linguist or whatever.
Didn't know it, but I knew it. Look at that.
Yeah.
So she plays a lot of just hot
Well,
roles.
well, I mean, we'll see why later on in the review.
The seductress.
Billy definitely will see why.
Oh, damn, Billy boy.
The budget for the Amityville Horror from 2005 was $19 million, and it made $108 million globally.
Jeez, bro.
Yeah. So,
That's the definition of a
Well,
success.
you see, it was going up against Feast. Of course, it's going to make $100 and some million. I think those movies are released really, really, really close together.
Well, in my heart, if I had to go see one in a theater, I'll talk about it later.
I think in retrospect, I actually went to the theater and saw that movie, but I'd kind of want to see Feast now instead.
the real George Lutz sued MGM for making the film without his consent. Because the guy's
Again,
This guy is a money-grubbing fuck, bro.
haven't they made like 10 films in this series at this point?
Give me just a second.
Films, books,
This
action
will be-
figures.
George Lutz being butthurt about his fake story. This will be a common theme to this douchebag's overblown ego. He died in May of 2006, and the case was never settled.
Well, damn, I hate to say this, but if he was still alive, he'd probably sue us as a podcast because it sounds like we're about to give him a good bashing, lady.
Not it.
Yeah, not it.
And to Chris's point, I'll be it. The ghost will now be in my house. That'll be fun. To Chris's point, since the first movie came out in 1979, I'm just going to ask this. What do you think the amount of movies that evolve around Amityville are? since
I'll
then?
say double digits at least. It's got to be at least 10 plus.
I'm going to say right at 10. How many times can you redo this?
27 films.
How, bro?
5 were made in 2016 alone.
That's more than like the Bond films, dude.
Are we
I
talking
was-
documentaries plus
No,
like
we were
motion
talking
picture?
Amityville 1, 2, 3, Amityville
nonfiction,
Horror House,
fiction.
Amityville Dollhouse, Amityville Poltergeist, Amityville Prison, Amityville
Dude, I
Asylum,
I want to get that
brand
Barbie Amityville house.
Amityville fucking
Just for myself, just to
Sex
play with
Dungeon.
myself.
I don't know.
I put my little Piccolo doll in there. Inside the little
Shout out to
Amityville
Piccolo.
dollhouse. Shout out DBZ.
Namekian, baby.
So if anybody out there is writing a script, just put Amityville on, and apparently it will get greenlit.
Shit, man. How
27.
many good stories aren't being told so we can get more Amityville stories?
Yeah, you can get 20 plus movies of Amityville made, but where's Congo 2?
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
What kind of
We made
bullshit is
everything.
this, bro? There's
With
going to be a
that-
mention of Congo in every single one of these episodes.
Once again,
so get
Congo
ready.
is not a horror film. That's still my stance.
We
I'll
may
be
one day.
working on these guys. We're gonna break them down eventually, guys. We're gonna get Congo on here.
One day we might
Guaranteed.
finally get into the city of Zinj. So with that, let's get into the meat of this movie. The opening scene goes over the Ronald DeFeo Jr. murder, where he uses a Marlin rifle to kill all 6 members of his family while they supposedly sleep.
On a very special day of the year, November the 13th.
November 13th, 1974. Who knew 12 years later a young Joey would be birthed into the world, covered in shit, news and charisma, among other things.
Still covered in shit.
Some of you ladies might find out one day just what those things oozing are.
So is it any possibility that because of the way this lines up that you could be the reincarnation of like the 5-year-old girl?
I
that was
feel like Chloe Grace Moretz every time I get up in the morning, bro. With them big ass buck teeth.
Come on, man.
Cute as can be.
That's what I
And
say
I-
about you, Joel.
then
You're
I-
just as cute as could be.
And then I look in the mirror and I just realize, yeah, I look more like one of those guys that got shot in the face.
She just carried Tom and Jerry. So So you know.
Gracious, man.
Carry it right to the
Imagine having to act and stare at like nothing.
She's top bill.
That's The Rock's whole career. We are introduced to George and Kathy, as well as the three children, Billy, Michael, and Chelsea, in what I was assuming was their apartment. And boy, do the kids hate George.
Oh, yeah, it was super awkward. Like, he was trying to slip it in, and then the little dude comes up. Starts, yeah, just climb into the bed with me. Let's talk about your dad.
What are you doing to my mom? Keep in mind, this whole time, the little kid has, like, scuba diving goggles on. And in my mind, if my man's like, you know what I'm doing? I'm about to go scuba diving. Let me borrow them goggles right quick, kid.
That's a goofy-looking kid, man. Going back to the opening sequence with the murders in the family, was that not the most fucking erratic lightning you have ever seen? It was like a straight-on strobe light.
I fucking loved that they used that as the lighting for that scene.
Oh,
It looked like a fucking, like they were at a club or something.
Yeah. But it's
I
like
was waiting for Blade to come in and start fucking cutting people up.
like every lightning strike or whatever, they used that as the lighting source for the scene when he was doing the killings. I thought that was great. I don't think this movie was very creative overall, but it's like that's actually okay.
So the subplot was created with the audience learning that the father had recently died and George and Kathy had been married, with the kids disapproving.
Well, I think, if anything, that middle kid was the most understanding. I guess he was at the good age, though, of like, oh, you can be my new dad.
Yeah, because even Chelsea had some resentment that would come out later.
And the older kid, of course, is like, he knows he's laying pipe to his mom, so.
Just laying it down.
He's in construction, right?
Yeah, he's like the construction guy.
He's
He, like, owns
deconstructing
his own
mom's
business
innards.
or something.
George and
She's
Kathy.
a hot mom.
You never see this guy do any fucking work though outside.
Oh
work
boy,
around the
do you
house.
though.
He talks about it.
Yeah, he talks about it. Talks about how hard he's got it, but I don't see the guy work at all.
I feel like that's probably the real depiction of the actual George Lutz. But anyway, George and Kathy begin house hunting and are introduced to 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville.
Dun, dun, dun.
During the house tour, a ghost walks down the hall. It's like, what?
And the realty agent just like, oh shit, we just hurry up. And get out of here.
Oh boy, those silly ghosts.
Hey, did you guys happen to catch the cheeky little ass grab the girl does
did
to
see that, yeah.
George right there in front of the house? It's like she grabs his ass in a way she's trying to slip a finger up his ass.
This is a big house.
It's like
Let's
she's checking his oil or something.
Look at how many sex rooms there are.
So was she employed? Or is this like a product of the 70s?
I don't
She
believe
doesn't
so.
work there.
She was a single mother, Chris. That's a job in itself. Have some
I
respect.
agree. I understand the struggle. I was just curious.
The price is given at a steal, and the couple soon realize that murders were recently committed in the house, and all the furniture is still there from the original family, which I would have said, I'm good.
Yeah, that was one of the things that fucking tripped me out. They were like, oh, we're going to just keep these beds and shit
These
after
beds.
knowing everything that happened here.
The whole time they're walking through the house, the realtor is thinking in her head, please don't ask me about the murders. Please don't ask me about the murders. She's looking, Kathy's looking up into the ceiling. There's fucking blood stains and shit. Oh, yeah, what's the blood doing on the ceiling? Oh, I used to have a livestock slaughter pen upstairs. Don't worry about it. No big deal.
Just draining cattle up there. Sorry.
As George and Kathy learn from the realtor eventually that the murders were committed, George gives an epic line that definitely should go on a t-shirt at some point. Houses don't kill people. People kill people.
People kill people.
Or it could be said when you're done watching the movie, houses don't kill people. I kill people when they don't close doors. Because it seems like people leaving doors open is a driving force for wanting to commit murder throughout this entire movie.
It's fucking cold, man.
I guess.
Always cold.
Nothing like a draft to just piss you off. You know, just sitting here minding your business, working really hard at your construction, and
So hard.
man,
He's building so many houses.
You get a breeze and just hits your
He's
sweaty
building so many
abs at the
fucking
wrong
houses
angle.
that we don't see it in the entire movie. He's so many
Yeah,
houses.
why doesn't he
building.
just build them a house at this fucking
He doesn't work a single bit for 28 days, people.
He's just getting stuff together. He's just getting supplies together, getting his wood together, getting his hammers together.
He talks about how expensive it is to own a house and doesn't work a day for an entire month.
And I would say, just on a side note of having to do house hunting, never say, I have deserved and earned a house this big. That is not a good way to buy a house.
What does that even mean?
You've worked so hard, George. You deserve this house.
Yeah, she did pitch that to him. That's their selling point. You're so big, and this needs to be big.
There's just some shit you can't afford, man.
Okay. At the point, he was like, oh, okay. I mean, it's not that big, but if you say so.
I guess I do work my ass off, girl. You know what? So, the Lutzes decide to move into the house with all the furniture, with all the bloody beds. Day one brings us to a moving in montage with George and the family, where we find the alarm clock in the basement set at 3:15 a.m.
This is back-to-back horror films that have actually contained a montage that we've talked about and reviewed. I doubt this will ever happen again. I don't think we'll see any more horror films back-to-back that have a montage.
If we get
It's such a weird thing to have in a horror movie.
Yeah, that's definitely not on our trope list. I feel like if we were doing 80s action, it'd be all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Before you go,
it's
go,
like because
I
horror
don't
movies, you
feel
want to
like
build.
going solo.
In horror movies, you want to build tension and you want to build, that suspense. And like a montage, even used as it is in this movie, it's like that's the furthest thing from suspenseful or building any type of tension.
Before we get past George's occupation here, this man who works all the time.
You are just really hung up on his occupation.
We're harping on it. I'm thinking this is a fresh thought here. With 3 children, how the fuck does he have time to work out that often to be that shredded?
He chops he chops 200 fucking trees worth of wood in this movie, bro.
He does chop a lot of wood. Yeah.
I mean,
what does it have to do with his career up to this point?
I mean, I think that's part of like why they included it in the movie to show this is why he's so jacked. He just chops wood, just all day, every day.
I mean, apparently you can get a 6-pack chiseled ab just by chopping wood. So
okay.
I chop my wood, Chris.
I'm just saying, guys in the 70s. I just don't know how easy it was to get that jacked.
The real George Lutz looks like an Italian guy who ate a lot of fucking Stromboli.
He looks like hammered. He looks like hammered shit. But
that's like what a 70s construction worker should look like.
Ryan Reynolds in this movie looks like you can take an onion and fucking cut it on his goddamn abs. Like it's like you don't even have to have knives around the house. Just put it against that little pelvic bone of his and just fucking.
I almost wonder if the real George Lutz was only butthurt because of how good Ryan Reynolds looked. Was like, he looks better than me. Wait a minute.
Nah. They accentuated them damn abs, though. I'll tell you that.
So as the family moves in and we're introduced to the alarm clock, and at one point he asks to refill the wood in the furnace, there is a sex scene between George and Kathy. A sex scene that has no nudity, which was
damn, dude. I had my fingers crossed because this is a very attractive lady.
Yes,
this is a horror movie. I was like, just give me one slip here. Not to be a complete perv, but I see way more of him naked than her. So
I'm going to do something during our recap here of every time that George Lutz is shirtless. And we have our first appearance right here. Mr. George Lutz is shirtless in the bed with his wife. And then, as they're in the throes of sex, he sees a dead hanging girl in the room with them.
Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. We got a jump scare, boys.
A jump scare.
Red rum. Red rum.
Red rum.
Red rum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why she's hanging in this fucking scene.
That made no sense.
I don't think the girl was hung or anything like that. But he's about to nut, and he just peers over her shoulder. There's a little girl hanging from a rope.
And if
I don't know if he finished.
He definitely didn't.
Some people, that's going to help him finish.
It cuts to her, and she's hanging, and then she sticks her tongue out. And it's like, is she Casper? Is she like playing with them?
Yeah, I was confused, like how much control over like their own doings a ghost has. Like, is she doing this herself, like intentionally, just to fuck with him?
That's a lot.
He's going to develop a new fetish after this or something. Did they finish fucking? That's what I want to know.
No, because he says, She goes,
No. I
What's
know
wrong,
he said
baby?
yada yada, and then we cut. But like 5 minutes later, she's like,
oh, I interpreted
like,
that as there was an awkward scene, and like he pulls out, and then it's even more awkward.
I felt like his dick went inside of his body like a turtle shell. At that point.
we need a timer on how quickly his boner disappeared, just to see how sick he was. I'm just saying, especially with it being a young girl, I don't know. There's some psychological stuff that'll pop up later.
As we move along here, going to jump around a little bit. Chelsea goes missing at 3:15 in the morning. That is correct, right? Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't have that in the time of notes. I just threw that out. Okay. Chelsea goes
Let's
missing.
just assume everything happens at 3:15 in this fucking movie.
Chelsea goes missing at 3:15 in the morning, and was soon found in the boathouse on the very end of the boat, holding a random red balloon. I don't know where she got that, and saying that Jody told her to come out there.
Yeah, was that like an It reference? That's how I took it, but the red balloon.
Probably a good take. Yeah.
I was like, but I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a stretch, but who knows with this movie, man.
What the fuck did she get a balloon?
This movie's all over the place.
Yeah, I have no idea. Was that
Who
Jody's
gives
balloon?
balloons to their
It's
children
probably Jody, the
randomly?
friendly Casper ghost.
Well, we're actually introduced to the character Jody right before that. There's a scene where they go upstairs, and the mother is talking to her daughter, and she has a little etching sketch. She looks at it, and there's a picture on the etching sketch.
The shit cracked me up.
drawing, and the mom asks, "Who was that?" And is that Jody? She says,
Is
"No,
that
it's not
Jody?"
Jody." But Jody is obviously a little ghost that's in the corner saying, "Shh, be quiet, don't say that." Show him the etching sketch. She just sketched out a perfect caricature of Abraham Lincoln.
That's exactly what I read. I was like,
This
is that
shit
Abraham Lincoln?
Looks like No, it's not Jody. That's Abraham Lincoln, vampire hunter.
I was like, the mom was like, is this Jody? I'm like, you're looking at this shit. You should know your presidents. Fucking Abraham Lincoln.
She did a perfect representation of Abraham Lincoln, bro.
So we get Chelsea back in the house. Another day goes by with a lot of nothing happens, and then the next day, 3:15 again in the morning, Michael wakes up. Gotta pee. Just gotta pee at 3:15.
Gotta do it.
Couldn't wake up his brother, so he goes to the bathroom by himself. For some reason, does not close the door to pee. It's very strange. He's freaked out by the open door, yet doesn't close it, and then washes his hands, and then there's another pop scare by some random demon.
Here's my fucking issue with that sequence. The kid doesn't even see that ghost.
Yeah, it's just
He doesn't acknowledge it at all.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah, I'm like, who the fuck was
It's
that
like
for?
we're looking at the guy and he just ate like a bunch of beets or something and he's spitting it out of his
he's like,
mouth. I don't even know what I don't even think it's fucking
It looks
blood.
like he's
He
brushing his fucking teeth or something with cheer wine. I'm like, what's going on? The kid doesn't even acknowledge him. He just runs away because he's a fucking kid.
Not to harp too much about the little girl going missing. What is it about like little kids in horror movies when you tell them not to do something and them going to do exactly the fucking opposite? I guess it's like that in real life as well, but it's almost
Yeah,
like that's a
pretty much
trope
is.
in itself in horror movies. Like telling a kid, "Hey, stay here, don't go here," and then not even a scene or two later, they're doing the exact opposite.
Well, if it was the wife that did that, you'd be like, "What the fuck's wrong with her?" and just roll over and go back to sleep. You gotta want to save the children, man.
So the next day rolls around, 3:15 a.m. hits again. George goes running shirtless. Again, we have a shirtless
he
George
does.
for the second time. Running shirtless in
yes.
his pajamas to the boathouse where the family dog Harry is barking. And I have a note that just says Ryan Reynolds is ripped. So just letting everybody know he's jacked.
No
That's
arguments
putting
there.
it lightly, bro. My man is shredded. He's like a julienne fucking salad. Shredded.
So a constant part of the movie is George always saying, like, "God, are you cold? I'm cold. Are you cold?" But he never has a fucking shirt on.
Yeah, put on some fucking clothes, bro.
Oh, the amount of time spent lingering on his upper torso, his bare upper torso, is super uncomfortable.
There are multiple shots to where the camera starts at like his navel and works up, and then like pans out.
And what a navel it is! Makes you want to join the Navy. I want to join the naval. I want to join the Naval Academy. Seeing that navel.
So we're 15 days ahead. George looks like shit. His eyes are turning red. House is definitely taking a toll on him. George and Kathy decide to have a date night.
We got to get the fuck out of here and damn blow off some steam.
And hire a borderline stripper as a babysitter.
Good God almighty. I had to pause the movie on this one, boys.
I was thinking, why would you hire such a sexualized babysitter?
Well, you got to think about it, too. This is like the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't this more of like, they're still kind of in the whole free love era. What is that?
She had
That's,
a throwaway
that's like,
comment.
what, the late 60s?
Nothing says
Yeah.
more free love than fucking Long Island, New York.
Shit. You talking about navel? Goodness gracious. This girl got a navel.
Well, the mom said it was like a throwaway comment. Oh, I picked up a number at the grocery store. So she probably never even met the chick before this introduction.
And we are introduced to the fact that they asked for, does she need a house tour? And she says no, because she used to babysit for the DeFeos.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, and that's
I
a deal breaker.
know this
in that
house
moment.
like the back of my hand.
It was very strange. What are the odds that you would get the same babysitter? I mean, I guess Amityville could be a small town. But
think
still.
about it. Well, think about it this way: they're in a small town because it was a small town, or is a small town, not super popular like it is now. As well as these two events only took place less than a year apart, so it's like she's probably the local babysitter for this entire community.
She was
and
thirsty to get back in there, man.
Boy, is she
God
the local
almighty.
babysitter.
She ain't the only one that's thirsty, bro.
I'm thinking some videos were made with that lady as the babysitter. But moving right along, the babysitter begins to flirt with Billy.
Yeah.
Little
it is awkward.
Billy.
Hold on. Billy is the only person who doesn't have like a direct encounter with a ghost.
No,
Is this correct?
He does not.
Everyone else has like a 315 moment.
I don't think he encounters the ghost at all during the entire movie.
And he just has like his first boner this whole of his life at this point. I don't think Billy had a bad time, I guess is what I'm saying.
He's not susceptible to the wiles of the ghosts, of the spectral plane.
So what are the odds? Because she hits him with the whole, do you French?
Oh,
And
buddy.
He thinks about it and says no.
I would have said,
How old is this kid? 13, 14?
Vous chez avec moi. Yeah, I French all day, girl. Damn.
This is the one in like 15 young boys.
And
Oh.
who breaks
Restrains himself.
in the room yet again before sex happens?
They call me Pepe Le Pew, you know what I mean?
God, that what was that kid's name?
Michael.
Michael. Don't forget Michael.
God, the cock block of a lifetime, Michael.
Dude is a
Captain Kirk.
notorious cock block. Some would say serial cock blocker.
So the babysitter explains to Billy and eventually Michael the history of the house. And then they go upstairs to check on Chelsea. And for a measly price of a kiss poster, the babysitter is dared into walking into Jody's closet where she was shot in the face.
Before that, did you notice this lady pulled a whole water bong out of her purse in the bathroom?
That wasn't in her purse, buddy.
That was impressive.
That came out of something else.
And Billy brought her some big old bowl of popcorn. She's a seasoned vet.
Billy apparently brought her the one thing she wanted because he was in at that point.
And then before that, she had told him that the boys had died in the same beds. And again, why the fuck would you not buy your own furniture
exact
at
same
this
bed
point?
that you're on right now, Billy.
Exactly.
disgusting.
All they did was flip the mattress over and you're good to go.
flip it over. I mean,
I do that all the time. I spill like ravioli or soda or something on my mattress. I just flip it over and let it dry.
Ketchup. These are
good
all
to
like
go.
red liquids, man. I'm pretty sure you're hurting people and not telling anybody.
Nah, that's just Chef Boyardee, bro.
The babysitter accepts the dare again for a measly kiss poster. How expensive is a damn kiss poster? Jesus. Anyway.
At this point in time, I think he had some limited edition shit. This kid was obsessed with Kiss. Kiss underwear, Kiss shirts, Kiss jackets. He had like, his toothbrush was literally like a thing of Gene Simmons' tongue. Like little bristles on the
I
end of
heard
it.
it's real, you know.
He liked
It was super awkward.
to clean his tongue with Simmons' tongue. Super fan.
Tongue on tongue.
So the door closes behind the babysitter. She's locked in the room, and Jody appears, the friendly ghost. And she makes the babysitter put her finger through her bullet hole in her skull. Babysitter screams a lot. Can't break through a very thin wooden door.
Yeah,
And
this
then it cuts
this door like locks itself. You got to realize, people, throughout this entire movie, doors are being left unlocked, left ajar, open, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And this actually leads George to fly off the handle on multiple occasions. This babysitter somehow manages to find the one door in the house that doesn't fucking open, and she pays the price for it.
She pays a big price because the next scene, she is carted off into an ambulance.
Hysterical. I saw Jody. I saw her.
We have a cut to George chopping wood, and you guessed it. Oh, he is shirtless.
Oh, he's chopping, buddy. Well, damn, you ever try chopping wood with your shirt on? Fuck that. You don't get the full range of motion, bro. You got to get them pants off while you at it. You got to get that
I
bend.
can't get my swing. My nipples can't breathe.
Yeah, my nipples get chafed. My nipples get chafed if I write on a piece of paper. Imagine how that would be if I was chopping wood.
And he's making Billy hold the wood for him. And he's like, aren't we having
weird.
fun, Billy? Aren't we friends?
This is fucking great, man. Watching
Bizarre
Ryan
shit.
Reynolds slip into madness is like the best part of the movie. He pulls it off like super well. Like his whole wittiness that he's known for, like the way he delivers his lines and stuff in movies, it really adds like delirium. It's fantastic.
Yeah, one of my favorite little sequences there when they're like having dinner, and she says, "Is this discipline or torture?" I thought it was meatloaf.
yeah, I made a note on that.
That shit cracked me up. And before that, when they had like the whole magnets on the fridge, you remember that shit?
The home sweet
Where
home
it said
thing.
like catch them and kill them.
Catch
Who the fuck has apostrophes in their alphabet
Hey,
magnets?
somebody got the advanced set, bro.
Very intelligent kids. Very intelligent.
The whole catch 'em and kill 'em, man. That's a
Catch 'em.
Pokemon game I would love to play.
Kill them.
I think that would be fantastic.
After George is chopping wood shirtless, making Billy hold the wood, George has a paranormal visit by an image of himself saying, kill them.
Kill them.
Kill 'em. Kill 'em.
Because of this,
I think
George
he
freaked
thinks
out.
it's more like he screams them. Kill 'em!
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
it's
But
pretty.
better.
So at this point in the film, he's under the influence of whatever the fuck is going on.
Oh
right?
yeah, the
Alcohol. Yes.
My
All
question
boozed
is,
up.
hallucinations. It's got to be shrooms or something.
because he's like coughing and shit, right? Is he possessed? I'm under the impression the house is like possessed. Is he? What's the
That's-
fucking conceit here?
That's what I took it as the house was making him sick, but that doesn't make any sense.
So yeah, is it like he's psychologically reacting to like the house itself? Like he's just a person who happens to. Everyone else is experiencing the same shit as him, but he takes it to the next level.
Well, somehow the house is making him wake up at 3:15 every day. That's like, and he can't go back to sleep. I think part of it's like sleep deprivation. Like it makes your body or your mind that much more susceptible to like influence and suggestive behavior.
So is he possessed?
I mean, I don't know.
Or is he just fucking insane?
I think it's a bunch of things, and then the
I think it's a big old bag of bullshit.
It's
Whoa,
gotta be-
get into
yeah.
that. So George takes a bath because when you sleep deprived and you look like shit, let's take a bath. Let's wash it off. And then he gets visited by some old monsters in the bathtub.
I hate when people do this in a fucking movie when they're in a bathtub. When they lay down backwards,
Like
that
what?
freaks me out, man.
What kind of bathtub are you in? You in a damn swimming pool being able to lay down like that? Jesus Christ. That's a
I don't like
monstrous
water
bathtub.
going in my nose, man. The idea of that just disturbs me. Like, these people do it for fun and shit in movies.
It's always, I don't feel like I take a lot of baths.
And if I do, I'm not going to lay there submerged.
Yeah. Like, it's very
Look,
strange.
You've had here, put it this way. You've had a long, hard day of chopping wood and torturing children, killing dogs.
Stepchildren.
Dog is not dead yet.
You're
Dog is
covered
not
in
dead yet.
blood. You're covered in everything but semen because little kids aren't letting you get your nut off, whether it be little kids wearing scuba diving gear or hanging themselves from rafters. I mean, you want to relax. You want to take a load off. What better than to run you a hot bath and soak yourself,
Maybe that's the point, Joy, is that he is sleep deprived and sex deprived. I mean, that'd make
It's
any
all
guy
about sexual
Yeah.
repression.
try to kill his family. I mean,
What about
That
that
explains
scene? I
lack
think it
of
was right
clothing.
before that, where he's going to the boathouse and he's got his axe, and he's like dragging it along the docks. What is it about that type of scene that you see in a lot of horror films where somebody has an axe and they're dragging it on the ground? Just like sends shivers up your spine, man. That is like crazy.
It's the scraping, I guess.
That
It's always
shit-
dragging the axe.
Oh my god, it just drives me nuts. It always makes me super nervous. I don't know why.
Oh, next
like the
time,
dentist's
next time
office,
I'm
man.
around
It's the
Joy, I'm
Like
gonna bring a random axe and
if you
drag it.
fucking drag a random axe around, it's like it just builds up the tension so well for me.
So after the bath and the visit by the monsters, George visits the doctor, where the doctor says he's 100% A-OK.
Go to the psychiatrist, and then his solution.
Yes, that is a solution, which is probably a very good take. Good job by the doctor and
I
educated man.
concur.
As they come home, they find Chelsea is on the top of the roof playing with Jody.
Oh,
And it's-
God.
This weird situation happens where they eventually get Chelsea off of the house, and she says Jody was going to show her father.
Just step off, yeah.
Look at me, Mom. Look at me. She's up here doing fucking parkour, jumping over damn chimneys and old rusty pipes. Her mom's up there on hands and knees, struggling to move around. It's almost like
This whole fucking
it's almost like they
sequence.
cast a little gymnast to play this part.
The whole sequence starts with a fucking jump scare from the teddy bear falling to the ground. They used a fucking teddy bear for a jump scare.
They got a lot of work out of that damn teddy bear.
Oh yeah, yeah.
jump
the
scares
teddy
in this
bear
movie,
plays
dude.
a big part in the movie.
80% of this movie was jump scares.
Yeah, the director watched every ghost movie ever made and just used everything possible as a jump scare. That was my
Yeah.
take from it.
That was so overused, man. It had no effect at this point.
After
I was
we
like, there's a fucking teddy bear on the ground. Okay.
Well, Rhinos was very scared. He was very scared of that teddy bear. So after we get Chelsea off of the roof, 3:15 a.m. strikes yet again. George drags that axe that Joy alluded to the boathouse.
Ooh.
And oh boy, does he wail on old poor Harry. And down goes the family dog.
Didn't he see him as a demon or something, and he thought he was killing a demon, but in fact he was actually killing the dog?
Yeah, there was a demon that jumped, or a ghost, maybe ghost is the right term, that jumped from the boat to him. He goes for that ghost, and somehow it's the dog on the dock.
Yeah, it was a weird, the animation there was kind of awkward. The way he was swinging, the trajectory.
Hey,
He wouldn't have been hitting the dog at first. I'm like, what the hell was he swinging?
as much wood as he's chopped, bro, I think he knows what he's doing with that axe.
He is a marksman.
Hold it,
He's a
Harry.
marksman.
We're having fun.
And I will make a note that this is the first time we see George in the boathouse with a shirt on. He was not shirtless during that dog killing. So
The repression is over at this point.
So Kathy and George the next day have an argument about leaving the house, and George is having none of it. It's his house. He worked for that house. He deserves that house. By God, that's his house.
You wanted this
You wanted
house,
it.
you got it.
You got it.
To this point, I think his wife realizes this motherfucker crazy.
So Kathy, realizing that this motherfucker crazy, calls a priest. As we always do. And you don't call, you just gotta call a Catholic priest. When shit goes crazy, you just call a Catholic priest.
This whole priest shit, man, just felt like a parody to me. I was like, this is the most stereotypical use of a fucking priest I have ever seen.
Definitely.
Like a joke I was like, this is a joke, dude.
So the priest shows up, and the first thing that he notices is a character in itself, the teddy bear. And he says that the teddy bear was buried with Jody. And then he
Bum
goes
bum
into
bum. What a
one of the
twist.
rooms, begins to recite the rosary, whatever he was saying, putting holy water on the ground. He looks into
The exorcism.
the furnace vent. I don't know why he would do that. And then flies come out at him. All about the flies with this ghost story. And then he leaves the house without saying a word.
Get out.
It wouldn't be
The
an
ghost
it wouldn't be an exorcism if there wasn't any flies. It's got to have flies in it. If someone's going to be exorcising any demons, got to be flies, just like The Exorcist.
Yeah, it's
Rip.
I guess it's some kind of reference to Beelzebub, right? Like the Lord of the Flies.
Beelzebub,
Yeah.
maybe Beelzebub.
I just want to see a horror
I'm not
movie
Satanist, I'm not sure.
that calls like a backwoods fire and brimstone Baptist preacher into a house to get the demons out, man. Carrying snakes and shit.
Hopefully played by Tyler Perry. That's how I want to see it go down.
We got to exorcise these demons.
He's dressed like
We have
Medea.
exorcised the demons. This house is clear. What about the the tactical Jesus gear suitcase that the priest actually had that he whipped up on the counter like he was fucking the Catholic John Wick?
That's a part of every Catholic priest starter kit.
Dude.
You just get that.
You just get that briefcase full of the damn sizzle water and all this other shit.
Wooden chisels, for Dracula and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the doorknob with the cross upside down.
Oh, yeah, that was weird. Why was that even there?
So, yeah, this is so on the nose, bro.
Yeah. So, we skipped to 28 days later, and as we alluded to, Judgment Day for the Lutzes.
Central Bullock finally gets out of therapy.
Kathy goes to the library to figure out what the hell is going on with the house and George. She discovers that the house once belonged to a cult preacher named Reverend Jeremiah Ketchum.
Hey, it's me, Jeremiah Ketchum. You gotta catch him, you gotta kill him.
This is the goofiest fucking villain name I've ever heard in my
This
life.
movie took a complete, left turn into some weird shit here.
No loose ends, bro. It's gotta tie every loose end. There's gonna be no plot holes from here on out.
Fucking Jeremiah Ketchup.
Jeremiah Ketchum.
I got a question here.
Go ahead.
This chick goes to the library before it even opens, right? Because she's banging on the door. The librarian's like, we're not even open yet.
She's
She barges
terrified.
in.
Terrified.
So we're saying she's got to be there before 8 or 9 a.m., right?
I
This
know,
lady doesn't get
around
home.
here 7.
This lady doesn't get home till after dark. How long was she in that damn library?
Well, she also
First off.
sees the priest, too. Because you got to go see the priest again.
I agree, but she has left her children alone with a man who, at this point, she knows is insane or possessed by some demon.
George has got
But she
it.
spends the entire day just out, she went shopping and shit. She had to go pick up some shoes. She's 12 hours she's gone.
Jody's got Chelsea. She's watching Chelsea. Billy don't need no damn watching. And
That's
then
a
the
big
other
He's
kid,
ghost proof.
the other kid's making sure Ryan Rose doesn't have sex all the time. So
Abraham Lincoln's got this shit under control.
Here's what he did. He actually just put them in that one closet that doesn't unlock at all and just leave them in there all day. I mean, they're totally safe inside the door that is not fucking open.
Jody
just
hangs
fingering
out,
Jody's head the whole time. That's what
plays from
Billy's
the
been
bottom
doing.
of Jody's head. So
Billy was dating Jody. That's the fucking plot twist.
Kathy learns that Jeremiah Ketchum had evil actions towards Native Americans during his mission in the 17th century Amityville era, said to be the cause of the haunting of 112 Ocean Avenue.
Classic Indian burial ground.
Meanwhile, to Chris's point, what was happening at the house, George was walking through the basement of the house and encounters the apparitions of the various Native Americans who were tortured and killed by said Jeremiah centuries ago through a opening in the basement after knocking down a cinder block wall.
So did he physically go through there, or was that just a head trip?
I took it as he physically did.
Yeah.
I feel like he came to and he was still outside on the couch or some shit. I don't know. It was a weird sequence, but I'm gonna go ahead and ring the trope bell here during this excursion through these.
ding.
Red rum, red rum.
But I would say the blood shower that's going on during the whole fucking process is excessive.
That whole sequence has its moments of excessiveness, like when the guy,
Shirtless Ryan Reynolds.
when the guy's mouth is sewn shut, and he cuts his own sewn mouth open, and a lot of blood comes out.
Oh, they're trying to scare him at that point? I don't know.
I think it goes like this. The director actually had a little bit of money left in the budget, so it's let's just go to the nines with this scene.
Gore it up.
Use it on as many special effects as we can.
So George
He's
is saying,
bathing shirtless with blood or something. In his little mind trip, it was more shirtless Ryan Reynolds covered in blood.
more shirtless. That's what we need. Just more and more and more.
You think shirtless is a yes or no thing, but he was more shirtless in this sequence.
And that's why the Washington Redskins are now known as the Washington football team, the Indian torture chamber.
So we learned about each one of these weird
Ketchup.
tortured dungeon individuals, and then George comes to the end of the hallway. Entering a dimly lit room, George encounters Ketchum himself. and the ghostly figure of the evil missionary turns around, picks up a knife, and slits his own throat in an act of recreating his suicide, covering George with blood and causing him to become nearly completely possessed.
Okay,
It's
so
in
at
the
this point,
blood.
we're saying he's possessed.
Yeah.
His eyes go black at this point, right?
Yeah, his eyes are gone.
Okay, so I understand the possession at this point, but whatever he had COVID up to this point, whatever was driving him fucking nuts was totally unexplained to this point, in my opinion.
Well, we're seeing throughout the movie that he starts seeing his family members, he sees them as being possessed. He sees them as demons. There's a scene that calls back to the film they made earlier during the montage where he's filming his family move in and everything, and he's rewatching it, I guess trying to recapture a part of his humanity because he knows he's going crazy. And
so was he watching footage he shot 2 weeks prior?
Something like that. Had the time to develop it, everything. But he
Good
sees
old
little
days.
Billy's face, and little Billy's face turns into a monster face. And I think that kind of solidifies that, hey, I got to get rid of these demons. The demons that are taking my family and destroying my family. When in turn,
Exercise those
him.
demons.
I think Billy was the mastermind here. He never has any horrible experiences.
Yeah, I think
Only
he's
hot
actually
babysitters.
possessed.
I think him and Jody are an item. I'm going with that.
George proceeds to go upstairs to the phone ringing. Kathy's calling, telling him to get out of the house with the kids. And George proceeds to rip the phone off the wall.
Bad rhyme. Call that technical difficulties.
Red rum, red rum.
Pretty good for this film.
3 out of 6. That ain't
So-
bad.
The phone is destroyed. And then George, as Kathy comes home, again to Chris's point, in the dead of damn night, after leaving at 6 a.m. in the morning, George proceeds to attack the family, and Kathy and Chelsea run downstairs and find that George had been working all right, but he was making caskets.
Why did you have to write their fucking names on
That was so, in Crayola, too. It was it's very thinly written. Yeah.
Perfectly staged.
And then George shows up and just picks up Chelsea, and it's yeah, you know what, it's all right. I had a note of where did George find the time to build all these damn coffins, but I guess when he's not chopping.
She'd been
wood,
gone for 12 hours, man.
He could put together some coffins. At least we got to finally see George's carpentry skills, and they were pretty good. Kathy and the kids try to escape from the roof. George falls off the roof into what looks like a mud pit.
Yeah, they raising pigs, bro.
I mean, it was the damn deepest mud I've ever seen in a front yard.
Some soft-ass mud, man.
Also, where the fuck did this shotgun come from, man? Did Little Horse have it behind the fucking torture bunker or what? Because this shotgun came from nowhere.
So George tries to chop Billy's head off with his favorite axe. And then Kathy knocks out George, and the family drive away on the boat, away from the Amityville house. Kathy looks back at the house. George wakes up from being knocked out and says, "Don't look, Kathy. Just drive." And that's the
Credits.
movie.
End movie.
Nobody died.
So the metal pipe couldn't knock his ass any sense into him, but the
Dude,
butt of that damn gun
That's
did.
the thing. Little Billy drops in. You can tell little Billy's balls dropped halfway through the movie when he saw that chick. By the way, he hit that dude in the face.
Yeah, he teed off on his
He
ass.
teed off on him.
No, the best.
That's the thing,
ending,
too.
The true ending. The house cleans itself up, which is nice. That's a nice feature.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good selling point. And then you have our girl Jody.
Undrill screws out of windows, unscrews them.
Yeah, does it pick them up out of the floor too? Somebody can step
knows,
on that
man?
shit,
Even on
And
the
then,
water, away from the house, man. Ryan Reynolds is still handsome as fuck after getting hit in the face with a shotgun butt as well as a metal pipe, falling down 3 stories. I can see what you see in the guy, Hootie. I really
He's
can.
just a good-looking dude,
Just lay on his abs while you drive the boat away.
If only, is all I can say.
Don't look at
If
the
only.
house. Look at my abs.
Poor Jody gets yanked through the floor, leaving that awfully,
Did she get
terribly
yanked by
scary
her fellow
teddy
family members?
No, I think it's the ghosts
I
of the
guess it's
Indians
Ketchum.
or something. I think it's the
I don't know.
Indians.
Who cares at that point?
I mean,
man?
it's one of those things of you can make your own assumptions, but it's it's not really worth the time or effort to do
So
that.
the only casualty we experience here is the dog.
That's it, Harry.
Yeah.
Poor Harry.
That and Lisa, the babysitter, man, she doesn't die, but she's like fucked up forever, like mentally.
So with that, let's shift into the quote-unquote real story of the Amityville house.
The true story of the
Tell me what really
Amityville
happened
Horror.
here, Mr. Hootie.
The true story. Let me first say this. Murders did occur in this house. People do not talk about the murders, and it drives me bananas.
So that's like the true crime angle. Like, these are facts.
These are facts.
Yeah, an entire
Murdered in
family
this
of,
house.
what, 6? 6 was murdered.
On
But there's
November
no movies made about that.
No, nothing.
All we care about is the
Lutz
okay.
family, yeah.
All of the Amityville documentaries you're going to watch just comb over the deaths of like, oh yeah, this happened, and now it's a ghost.
Gotcha.
So, as alluded before, on November 13th, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. shot and killed all 6 members of his family after being, his own words, possessed by the devil himself. DeFeo would be convicted of 6 25-year sentences, and he died in March 2021.
Shit.
Oh, damn. 2 months
That's
ago?
recent.
2
bro.
months ago, Ronald DeFeo Jr.
Shit.
passed away.
Man, if we would have done this last year, we could have interviewed his ass.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Why'd you do it?
Calls.
Why'd you do it? Yeah, Jeremiah Ketchum told me to do it. Well, that's just from the movie. That's not actually real. Nah, he was real. Fuck it.
He's the devil.
He's the devil.
And just one more piece with the DeFeo murders. There were some speculation that it was a mob hit because a Marlin is a very loud gun, and the fact that none of the family members woke up during any of those shots has led to a lot of speculation. But again, it's just speculation.
What I heard was like multiple shooters or something.
Right.
The
to
thunder
play
was
out the way
crashing
it is.
every half a second, man. What are you talking about? It was the biggest lightning fucking storm I've seen since X-Men with fucking Storm.
So let's shift to the book. In 1977, Jay Anson published the book titled The Amityville Horror that recounted the experiences of the Lutz family over their 28-day stay at 112 Ocean Avenue. The Lutzes provided around 45 hours of recordings to Jay Anson in order to develop the book. First, what's true? The Lutz did buy the house knowing what occurred only 10 months prior to their purchasing. And the DeFeo's furniture was purchased for $400 extra. Pretty good deal.
That's a damn deal.
It's a damn good deal.
I mean, if you
I
could
can't
like
turn
flip
that
'em.
down. Hell, turn that mattress over.
George Lutz was in serious financial trouble before moving into the house, causing him serious stress.
So he was already like, you know, not mentally sound.
Yeah.
So, what's the possibility that this guy, down on his luck, sees an opportunity to buy a house and make up a story?
The Exorcist
No.
could
All
just
these
come
fucking
out and
debts.
just what's selling right now, you know?
Don't
exorcism
you
stories.
dare. A Catholic priest was contacted and asked to bless the house, but never even saw the house and only interacted with one single phone call with the Lutzes. So what's not true? The Lutzes claimed the house had physical damage to windows, doors, and locks. However, in 1977, the house was resold, and the new tenant said that the house had the original items with no repairs visible. But to your point, I guess the house fixes itself when people leave.
Yeah, motherfucker. We covered that at the last scene. Come on.
Repaints the walls and shit. Lutzes claimed to have seen cloven hoof prints in the snow on January 1st, 1976. It did not snow that entire week in Amityville, New York. In late 1977, the Lutzes sued several individuals, including Good Housekeeping magazine, claiming invasion of privacy and mental distress. Those lawsuits were later thrown out by the Brooklyn District Court.
What the fuck did Good
Good.
Housekeeping do wrong?
So apparently the Lutzes were talking to a lot of people on like a press tour to get this book sold. And then there were people like Good Housekeeping write articles about it. But once again, George Lutz was not getting money for those articles. William Weber, who was the DeFeo's lawyer, that'd be Ronald DeFeo Jr., the murderer, worked with Jay Anson, the writer of the book, and was quoted as saying, "I know this book is a hoax. We created this horror story over many bottles of wine."
Would you say a Danish red?
Moving right along here, the debate as to what really happened to the Lutzes over those 28 days is still up for debate. However, James Cromartie bought the house again in 1977 and lived in it for over a decade, stating, "Nothing weird ever happened, except for people coming by the house to talk about the book and the damn movie."
Apparently, Jody, obviously not being real at all, but the little girl saw Jody as a pig instead of a actual little girl. And in place of the Indian torture chamber, that also wasn't there, there was an unaccounted for red room that wasn't anywhere on the original blueprints. And apparently the red room smelled of blood.
To the day both Lutzes died, Kathy and George, I don't think the kids ever talk about this bullshit. Kathy and George, till they died, would not talk about what happened on the 28th day. One last note, the house still stands on 112 Ocean Avenue today in Amityville, New York, if you want to go be a jackass and knock on the door. But it has had considerable remodeling done to take away the famous windows in order to distract tourists. Fellas, what piece of memorabilia from this movie do you want to take home with you?
For me, it's the priest's armory. The stuff he had in his suitcase, man, that's... I take that, and I'm always prepared for any sort of tomfuckery going on. No demonic possession would be safe for me. I have my holy water and my sizzle sticks.
Damn, that's a good.
And now
a good
I would see. Now I would be a little more proactive, and I would keep bug spray with me because I know them flies. I know the flies are coming, bro, and I'm gonna be ready.
For me, if I'm gonna add something, another piece of memorabilia to my horror themed museum, which already contains the Boss Man's badass black shirt, I want to get that Etch-a-Sketch with the Abraham Lincoln still like permanently etched on there. Like I've even removed the knobs so that it never gets changed.
Who's that? Oh, it's the guy on the penny.
Why the fuck are you drawing pennies in here?
And for me, my memorabilia would be the house itself, because lakefront property is hard to come by in this economy, and I won't.
Are we allowed to go that big?
I guess.
Like, I mean, well, mine is the whole planet. I want the whole planet.
All the rest of his memorabilia going forward has to fit in that fucking house.
This is the most famous horror house probably in history.
Oh, in history, no doubt.
I am taking the house.
I mean, obviously,
I'm
now
living in the
it's
house.
got no demonic
just the windows, man.
So it's like,
just get the windows.
where'd they take those windows? I want them windows.
So let's move into the Rotten Tomatoes fan reviews.
Oh, here we go.
This was entertaining. People were really upset with Ryan Reynolds' portrayal, and I just could not understand it.
That's insane, dude. What were they upset about?
They were
Because he's too likable.
He's too likable.
Yeah, he is. That's part of his charm, though.
And they were commenting on he was just not a good actor in this role.
That's crazy.
They probably didn't buy the transformation.
I don't like the guy, and honestly, he's the best part of the movie.
If you put yourself into that 2005 Ryan Reynolds, all he really had was Blade and Van Wilder. So there's like a different mindset around him, I guess. These are all Rotten Tomato user reviews.
Okay.
So you can look these up yourself. Dennis S. says that Ryan Reynolds is so hot in this, topless, muscled, and dripping. But that's the only good thing about this poor film, 1.5 stars.
So the best part of the movie is how hot Ryan Reynolds is?
Dripping.
He's
like
fucking dripping, bro.
Kathy G says the most supernatural thing about this movie is that we're supposed to believe that Melissa George popped out 3 kids and still had that ridiculous body. 3 stars.
3 stars. One for each kid. I like that.
Steve D says, an intense and spooky film with a surprisingly dark and great performance by Ryan Reynolds. 3.5 stars. Kalina J says, not that scary, not even a horror movie, 5 stars.
What the fuck? How'd I get 5 stars? I think somebody's fingers slipped when they were like putting the star counter on that, and it's like, all right, I'm too lazy to change it.
Maybe they thought it was on a scale of 10.
That's probably a good point. Poor Kalina just didn't know what the hell she was doing. So as we wrap up the Amityville Horror, which I'm so excited to get past, I'm so damn tired of this bullshit story. What are you guys' thoughts about this movie?
This is something I never want to see again. Any iteration performed by anybody.
There are 26 more movies, Chris, so you might have to watch another one.
Zero interest in those 26 others.
How many of those is Ryan Reynolds in?
This will be the only one.
Okay.
Well, shit. I feel like I saw this movie a lot when it came out, and I don't know why. Because I remembered so much of it, and it has to have been at least 15 years since I've seen it. Nothing redeemable about this for me.
I'm going to be a little less critical of the movie. For me personally, horror movies, it's hard to be, too hard on them just because they're not really to be taken that serious. But I guess you could say I'm torn. On one hand, I'm not a big fan of haunted house horror movies at all. I really don't like them. For me, it's overdone. There's really nothing that this film adds to the subgenre to separate itself. But on the other hand, I actually really enjoyed Ryan Reynolds' performance, and watching his psychological state fracture more and more left me interested in where the movie was headed. I'm about as much on the fence about this movie as I could be. It's not the worst movie by any means, but it doesn't add pretty much anything, or add enough for me to be invested at all. If I had to give it a thumbs up or down, I'd have to say thumbs down. I just can't see myself watching this movie of my own volition in my spare time.
I have to separate my emotional attachments from the films because I did enjoy watching every minute of Ryan Reynolds shirtless in this movie off the top. Loved every minute of it. But as much as I love the man, even he couldn't save this dumpster fire of a film. Based on a bullshit story written by Jay Anson, the script stays way too close to the text for it actually to be a quality story. Once again, nobody dies in a horror movie. You throw in Friendly Ghost, and not a single death scene or nudity scene, and you have yourself, fellas, one terrible damn horror film. All thumbs down, but all thumbs up to a shirtless Ryan Reynolds.
All right, to rewind back to last week when we bombed our Rotten Tomato fan score guess and were assigned said triple thumbs down movie. We took turns guessing what the Rotten Tomato fan score of it would be. Mr. Hootie went with the 69, pervert. Joseph himself went with the 60, and I said 45. So let's hop on Rotten Tomatoes and see what the actual fan score was. Damn, it was a 52.
What is the deal with horror movies being in the 50s?
People are so divisive, man. No one can agree to like or to dislike them, so it always falls in the middle. I guess what we know to guess in the future in like the 50s.
So yeah, with no one within 3 points plus or minus, we are going to have to go to the rando wheel here.
The wheel has been spun.
Fuck yeah. 1987's The Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland. Corey. Both Feldman. Both Haim.
There she is, Jamie Gertz.
I'm about to girt all over my fucking britches. Look at this picture.
So I do not have the same emotional attachment that you two have for this film.
Yeah, it's because you was like 2 when this shit come out.
Yeah, it's because you're a stooge.
I am definitely a stooge for the Lost Boys.
You're a stooge, bro.
Michael and Sam have just moved to Santa Carla, California. They're about to discover its secret.
And that fucking saxophone, bro.
I don't think anybody's going to get shirtless here. So
the saxophone player was shirtless.
God damn it. That's the first
I mean,
image
you
we
just
saw
stuck
in
your
the
fucking
trailer.
foot in
Never
your
mind.
mouth, bro. That's like the one image from the movie I remember from a child.
I thought this was going to be the
it-
first asexual
That's why
episode.
I am the way I am now.
Apparently not.
There's
The
one
shirtless
thing
saxophone man.
to count on at the Horrible Film School is Congo and just a lot of just really getting hype about shirtless men.
All right, so boys, you want to guess this Rotten Tomato fan score?
It's going to be high.
We're going 74.
I'm going to go 80.
All right, and I'm going to go the total opposite way. I'm going to go on the short end of the spectrum. I'm going to say 65.
Thanks for listening, folks. As an independent podcaster and a longtime podcast fan, I've always wanted to say this. We are now available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and most anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Links to those are probably going to be in this episode description. Also, if that's not your jam, you can reach us via email, horrorbullfilmschool@gmail.com. So do the subscribe, follow, review thing to spread the love. Tell your friends, tell your grandma, because that's what it's all about, right?
Definitely tell your grandma because she loves podcasts.
I don't think my grandma would make it through this movie seeing Ryan Reynolds with that shirt off. About to give her a heart attack.
She done passed out. Whoo, it's so damn hot in here.
Whoo!
I could think of worse ways to go. So I'm going to use this sign-off moment to offer my support to mothers against shredded stepdads.
His nipples look like milk duds.
As I get out of here, check us out on everything Chris just said. I would ask the audience to do one thing and just tell one person that you know about it. Spread the love, spread the campaign. Check out the HorrorBulls Film School. I hope that we summed up everything about the Amityville Horror and that you don't have to ever hear about this dumbass ghost story ever again. I'm out.
Again, just to harp on my co-host's thoughts, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate the love and support. Again, I apologize for my audio issues last week. Hopefully we got them squared away now, and it won't be such a pain to listen to us. Again, thanks for bearing with us. We're going to try to get better and better week in, week out. And any suggestions or anything, just let us know. All right, thanks for tuning in. Good night.